Praise be Jesus Christ, now and forever. We've heard from the concluding verses of Matthew's Gospel and the opening verses of the Acts of the Apostles, both of which describe for us the feast day that we celebrate, the Ascension of the Lord, his going forth from this world to take his place at the right hand of God in heaven. And we can only imagine the apostles who were devastated on Good Friday at the death of the Lord, who were stunned and shocked on Easter Sunday at his resurrection from the dead, and now today stand there in wonder as he departs from this world into heaven. It is indeed a celebration of wonder and awe. We see that the apostles looking up into the skies at what has gone on, confronted by two angels who invite them not to simply remain there and wonder, but to go and do what the Lord said, that is, to go back to Jerusalem and to prepare themselves for the outpouring of the Holy Spirit. I know most of you get the publication Word Among Us, and perhaps you saw this editorial article by a fellow named Leah with a very long last name. I don't remember his last name. I didn't see the whole thing. I just saw the beginning. But he begins by saying, by his count, it's now about 10 weeks into the shutdown. That's 10 weeks of homeschooling with the children, 10 weeks without being able to travel here and there, 10 weeks working at home, 10 weeks not being able to attend Mass, 10 weeks without Holy Communion, 10 weeks without the choir, 10 weeks with the inability to give the sign of peace. All these things that kind of weigh down upon each and every one of us. But today, this Feast of the Ascension is meant to help us to recognize that in the midst of all this, we, like the apostles, must hold our heads up. We must look to where Jesus is, because although he sits at the right hand of the Father, he has never left us. In and through him, we have been raised up to heaven. He who is the head of the mystical body, the church, we who are the members of that body, joined him by grace where he is, but he remains here with us now, so that by the grace of his sacraments, by the power of his word and scriptures, we can experience his ongoing presence, for he remains with us until the end of the age. And that's the fruit, the gift of this feast day that we celebrate today. That's the word of the Lord, who is so powerful in his love for us that he refuses to abandon us or to orphan us, but to remain by our side to help us all these days. And so this Feast of the Ascension is an invitation for us to lift up our hearts, our minds, our bodies and souls to the worship of God, even though we cannot do that the way we normally and the way we would like to do so. Nonetheless, as we turn our minds to him, as we open our hearts to him, as we give our will over to him, he is present with us, and he gives us the gifts and the graces we need here and now. Tomorrow begins the 9 days of preparation for the great feast of Pentecost, the outpouring of the Holy Spirit upon the church, upon the apostles, upon the disciples, the same Spirit that you and I received at baptism and in confirmation. It is this Spirit who leads us and guides us, who fills us to overflowing with the presence of the Lord, the one who not only leads and guides us, but fills us with every spiritual gift that we need to live our life in conformity with Christ, to be people who surrender our will to the will of the Father as Christ did, people who can exhibit the joy of Christ to our brothers and sisters, even in the most difficult of circumstances. May we participate these 9 days in praying for the outpouring of the Holy Spirit once again in our lives individually, upon our church collectively, but upon our world as well. Come, Holy Spirit, fill the hearts of your faithful, and kindle in them the fire of your love. Let us say that prayer over and over again. We will have opportunities each day for the Novena prayers. They'll be available on our social media. Hopefully you might be able to join in those prayers as well. But my dear friends, let us cling to the hope and the realization that Christ lives with us, Christ leads us, and Christ will offer to us every gift that we need in the days that lie ahead.